Are you ready to hire an employee but don't know what's next? What are all the nitty-gritty details that go into hiring? Whether you are new to hiring or you'll be hiring again, I have the ultimate checklist for you. You're listening to A Business by the Books, the podcast that teaches you how to use your numbers to manage your business. My name is Danielle Hayden, CPA and founder of Kickstart Accounting Inc., where we use bookkeeping as a vehicle to help business owners take control of their numbers. I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs make informed financial decisions for over a decade. In today's episode, you can look forward to the detailed checklist of tasks that need to be completed before hiring, the right systems to operate efficiently, and how to protect yourself as you hire. So if you're ready to hire in 2024 and get back your time, then stick around to this episode of Business by the Books. Now, hiring an employee is a major step for a business owner. If you're not sure if you're ready, I want you to pause this episode and go back and listen to our hiring series that we've done over the last few weeks, specifically episode 161, where we talk about whether or not you need an expert, a contractor, or an employee in your business. This checklist is specifically for those who have decided that they are ready for an employee in their business. Now, once you have gone through the exercises in episode 162, so you know that you can afford to hire that employee, now it's time to dig into this checklist. When you hire employees, you can provide equipment, you can offer that employee benefits, you can provide reimbursements, training, you can require the time that they're going to work and be available for you and your customers, clients. You can require brand guidelines and standard operating procedures. And by doing this, you will create company loyalty and brand culture. So now that you have decided an employee is the right fit for your business, that you are ready to take this on, what exactly do you do? It's so funny. I am a resident coach for a mastermind program, and they were asking me, I'm ready to hire. What do I do? And I forget about all the small things that go into this ginormous task of hiring employees. And I really want to thank everybody in that program who kept on asking more, right? No, what's the detailed? What's that step? What exactly do I do? So huge shout out to them for asking the hard questions, because it has allowed me to put this episode out there for you, our listeners. So because I know that each and every one of you have the same question. So step one is contracts. You need to have contracts in your business. And this is with any vendor, customer, contractor, expert, and employee. So we have to have a contract that we are going to have each and every employee sign. We had Legal Page on the show several months ago. I will link that episode into the show notes. So if you don't know where to go for your contracts, I highly suggest the Legal Page for your employment contracts. Next is your HR handbook. I am going to put the link in the show notes of the handbook that we use here at Kickstart Accounting Inc. The handbook does not need to be something that takes your time and energy. You do not need to hire a fancy HR consultant to build out your handbook. However, I do want you to have a basic handbook in place before you start hiring. It's important that you're laying out your thoughts and guidelines for your new team member. Now, I have a business coach, and Kevin often says to me, clear is kind. We have to provide clarity, not the clarity that we think that we need, the clarity that your team member needs. They are not in your head. They don't know what you're thinking. We have to be clearer than we even think we need to. We recently made some changes here at Kickstart, and he had me actually write out those changes and what were the expectations. And I was so excited, right? I was so confident. I had spent all morning on this document, and I'm like, this is crystal clear. And he took one look at it and said, back to the drawing board. I want this clear. So I had to redo the whole document. I spent another half a day on it. I spent another few hours on it. I sent it back to him. I said, all right, I've got clarity. Take a look. No, I want you to be clear with your employees. What does this look like for them? What does it feel like? How exactly will they know if they are succeeding? If they are within the guidelines? People want to do well, but it's our job as a business owner, leader, and CEO to provide those guidelines so that they know how to be successful in our companies. So included in the HR handbook will be simple things like, are we paying hourly? Salary? When will they be paid? Via what system will they be paid? Do you offer any time off? Are there any benefits included? Confidentiality, dress requirements. How do you want them to show up and represent your brand? Now, I know that we can't think of everything on our own, and that's why using these handbook builder tools are great at asking you the question, and you just need to determine what your stance is as a business owner. Now, I am not an HR expert. I am a CPA and I practice accounting and bookkeeping. However, I've been in business long enough to know that from an HR perspective, we have to treat our employees consistently. So by creating the handbook will allow you every single time you hire that you are treating every single employee the same way. So take the time now up front to work with a handbook builder to walk through these steps. You have to make this decision one time, right? Like these are decisions you make one time and renew on an annual basis. So we have all of our employees re-sign the handbook every January. So this is something you need to do one time, and then you can renew on a regular basis as your rules and opinions and guidelines change for your team members. Next is to set up payroll. Most importantly for payroll, I want you to know that you do not need to do payroll on your own, and you do not need your CPA to do payroll for you either. We have amazing tools and systems. I mean, it's 2024 right now, and there are incredible software to help us to eliminate a lot of these difficult tasks. We love using Gusto around here. So our team members get paid via Gusto, and we use Gusto whenever possible with our clients. So Gusto will walk you through the process of setting up exactly what you need with your state, and will walk you through step by step on how to set up your payroll system. They actually won't let you get it wrong because they will stop running your payroll immediately if you get it wrong. They have an amazing support desk and lots of blogs to walk you through it step by step. Now, if you're a Kickstart client, this is obviously something that we can take over for you. However, if you're not working with Kickstart or you don't have a bookkeeper, just know that Gusto is a fabulous software and team, and we'll walk you through that process every step of the way. And in my opinion, it's pretty inexpensive for what you get for the software. You do not need to pay a CPA or do any type of manual work at all whatsoever. Now, I will just note QuickBooks payroll, I believe, can leave you in danger. We've seen one too many stories about people who are using QuickBooks payroll. If you are not on their top tier package, QuickBooks will allow you to run payroll without paying your payroll tax. To me, it's just something that I'm not willing to risk. We had a client who came to us several years ago that they were using QuickBooks payroll. They thought QuickBooks was filing and paying the taxes for them. By the time we got involved, he owed $200,000 in back payroll taxes. There was just no coming back from that. He was actually doing really well as a business owner, but he was always drowning in the debt of back payroll taxes. And I don't want that to happen to you. So again, we use Gusto here internally, and I know Gusto keeps our clients compliant and really offer a seamless experience for both entrepreneurs, the business owner, and for your employees. I think that as business owners, especially small business owners, it's important for us to appear very professional and put together. And Gusto allows us to do that for our employees. Employees will then be able to log in, download their W-2s, have a portal to submit time off, and be able to update their information. It's just a really sleek system to allow you to be professional and of the highest quality and standards as a business owner. We'll get back to the show in 1 second, but real quick, are you an entrepreneur or business owner struggling with the complexity of tax deductions and salary structures for yourself? It's common to feel lost in the maze of tax regulations and unsure about how to effectively pay yourself from your business. Navigating these challenges can be daunting, leaving you with more questions than answers. But what if there's a way to simplify this process, ensuring you maximize your deductions and set up the most beneficial compensation strategy for yourself? That's exactly what our guide on the top tax deductions for every business owner and how to pay yourself as a business owner are for. These resources are designed to demystify the essentials, helping you understand and leverage tax deductions, and outline a clear, effective strategy for your salary as a business owner. Through these guides, you'll learn the key deductions you shouldn't miss, strategies for tax-efficient salary and owner's draws, and much more, ensuring you're financially optimized and compliant. So if you're ready to take control of your financial health with confidence, head over to kickstartaccountinginc.com/gift or click the link in the show notes and download your free resources today. Okay, back to the show. During this payroll setup, you will also determine the payroll schedule. And I really want you to think about this because this is something that I think most people bypass, like, oh, I'll just do what I've always done. Like, how often do I pay myself? Or how often was I paid as an employee previously? And I want you to think about what's best for you and your cash management. So I always suggest weekly pay because it allows you from a cash management perspective to be able to give out smaller amounts of money each and every week rather than having to wait for the 15th or the 31st or even doing it at the end of the month, which I've seen some clients do. So think about what's best as you collect money in from your customers. Do you collect small amounts throughout the month? Do you bill all of your clients on the first? How are you billing your clients that will allow you to manage your cash so that you'll never miss a payroll, right? This easily becomes our biggest expense, especially as service providers. And I don't want you to ever feel like this expense is a strain on your bank account. So determine the payroll schedule that's best for you. And then pay yourself correctly as a business owner. If you are a LLC, then you are taking owner's draws. But if you are an S Corp, it is really important that you are on payroll and you are paying yourself a reasonable salary. We did a whole series on S Corp, so don't worry. I'll link that in the show notes. If you don't know what I'm talking about and whether or not you should become an S Corp or how much to pay yourself as a S Corp business owner, I'll link all that in the show notes. We got you. But if you are an S Corp, you need to be on payroll and you need to pay yourself a reasonable salary. So as you're setting up payroll for your employee, you'll also be enrolling yourself not only as a business owner, but as an employee as well. Next, we can start to think about our standard operating procedures. Remember, we're not trying to clone ourselves. We are thinking about what are our strengths and weaknesses, what's important for our next team member to do. And here in our standard operating procedures, this is our opportunity to create extreme clarity for our team members. People want to do well, and it's our job as a business owner to provide the guidelines for that team member. And we can create those guidelines through standard operating procedures, right? So our new team member, they're going to come in with a handbook so that they know what our policies and procedures are. Then they're going to come in to standard operating procedures to know what you as a business owner expect from them day in and day out as they're actually performing those tasks. I want to be clear, you are never too small to have an SOP. Start somewhere. This new team member can help you refine the standard operating procedures over time. We've been in business for 10 years at Kickstart, or almost 10 years. I can't tell you how many iterations we've had of standard operating procedures throughout the years, and we will continue to update them every single year. One of our goals is to have 100% documented processes, and we'll probably actually never be able to check that goal off because every year they'll need to be updated and we'll need to continue to add onto them. We are not stagnant as a business. We are rapidly growing, and as a rapidly growing business, we have to be able to pivot and change. So do not let perfectionism stand in your way. The standard operating procedures is a starting point. It's a guideline for that team member, for you and that team member to continuously improve the standard operating procedures. I do want to note also for standard operating procedures, we use a system of videos recorded via Loom, where then I can screen share and walk through the why behind every task. So one of our core values here is to lead with why. And it's one of the most important things in my opinion, because if you understand why we're doing something, you can use your analytical skills to determine the best way to get there. If I'm telling you click here, click here, click there, you're not able to actually use your decision-making power as you're walking through any issues that might arise in a business. So we use a system of looms, and then we use Member Vault in order to actually train our team members on each of those systems. So I just want to give you that kind of bonus of how exactly we do it at Kickstart, because I know these are the details, right, that we get really tripped up on. What are other business owners doing and how are they actually implementing these? So I wanted to give you that detail. Next, we need to order equipment. Now, don't be too fancy. You will be able to upgrade over time. Again, at Kickstart, we have upgraded our computers over time. As you're hiring your first few employees, it's important that you're able to give them the equipment. It doesn't need to be the best computer out there. It doesn't need to be the best equipment out there, but it's important that you're setting the stage for them as a new team member. You're giving them the best opportunity to be able to perform the work for you. Next, I want you to schedule training. This is one of the biggest benefits of having an employee versus an expert or a contractor. You get to train this new team member. You're going to help them understand who you are. Who is your business? What is your brand? What is the bigger purpose of your business? So schedule the training for that team member. How will you set them up for success as they embark on this new role? And then how will you give them regular feedback and training opportunities? I'll share with you what we do at Kickstart as an example. So our team members all go through an operations training via Member Vault. So we use Member Vault to walk all of our employees through their training. And in operations training, we walk them through every single one of the systems that we use, why we use it, and how to use it. So it's a simple onboarding process. So during the first few days, we don't have to sit next to them, helping them accept each invite. They're able to understand through videos what we do and why we do it. Next, we put them through a specific bookkeeping training of what we do, why we do it, and how we do it. Again, we're hiring qualified people. They know how to do bookkeeping, but they don't know what we do, why we do it, and how we do it. Like what is our framework and why? So they take that time, that first week, to really understand who we are and why we're doing this. Anybody can go do bookkeeping, right? What we're doing, we're changing entrepreneurship. We get the opportunity to make a difference in your business, right? You, the listener, we love making an impact with you and your community. And so it's important that our team members also know and understand that. So we put a lot of time in that front end of working with each new employee so that they understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. We do daily check-ins with our new team members. So it's 15 minutes every single morning where we can talk to them about what they accomplished, what the roadblocks are, and what the priorities are for the day. Those daily check-ins last for about 6 to 9 months. From there, we go into weekly check-ins and quarterly conversations. During the quarterly conversations, that's our opportunity to give feedback and discuss the training opportunities that they need for their skill set. So determine, what will their onboarding process look like? What will they do their first few weeks? Are they going to shadow you, the business owner? Will they shadow another team member, read a book? go through a training process. This does not need to be perfect. Again, we've been in business for 9 years, so we've been able to build out these systems and refine them over time. But you will need to decide, what is that team member going to do on their first day, right? What are they going to do that first day and those first few weeks so that you're setting them up for success? Lastly, I want to talk about insurance. How do we protect you as a business owner? Hiring employees is so exciting, right? There's so much upside to hiring employees, but we need to make sure that you are protected. So when you're hiring employees, we need workers' comp insurance and unemployment insurance. Those are required in most states. Depending on how many employees you have, they're going to be required in most states. From there, I also want you to think about, do you have a liability insurance policy? Maybe umbrella insurance that is an overarching policy that sits on top of your liability insurance. Do you have any disability insurance for yourself or your team? And do you have key man insurance on yourself? If something happens to you, you now need to protect your brand and your team. I'm a no BS type of person, and so I don't want to sugarcoat this. This is your responsibility. You are a business owner, and now you're an employer, and that comes with responsibility. And so we need to make sure that you're properly insured and that you have the right policies in place to mitigate your risk and your employees' risk. They're taking a risk on you just like you're taking a risk on them. Make sure you and your team are covered in the case of any situation. Don't bypass this important step. Again, we're a CPA firm, bookkeeping firm. We do not handle insurance. However, find a financial advisor as part of your money team who can help make sure that you are properly insured in your business. Now, I have homework for you. I want you to leave every single one of these episodes with action. I want you to download this checklist at kickstartaccountinginc.com/hiring and take action. Go through this checklist. Even if you've already hired an employee, do you have each of these components as you continue to hire again? All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed the hiring series here on Business by the Books. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We'll be dropping a new episode each and every week, and I don't want you to miss out on any opportunities to learn how to use your financials to grow and manage your business. I have a favor to ask. If you have gotten any value from this show and you want the show to continue to grow and keep providing you with strategies for financial growth and efficiency, simply leave us a rating and review if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. Those reviews really go a long way in attracting more listeners, and honestly, they really make my day. So if you're feeling up to it, we'd love to see a rating and review from you. Either way, thanks so much for listening to the show.